Good morning and greetings from Northumberland on a dark October morning. It's the 26th of October, and therefore it's a feast important to us in this part of the world. It is the feast of StCedd or StCedd. There are lots of arguments about how to pronounce his name. It's spelt C-E-D-D, but many people think it should be pronounced StCedd. We're putting in a sort of an H, but who knows? And I think we can allow people to pronounce it either way. Certainly in the east of England, where he was a bishop, they seem to have dropped the H and it's said, although some people think we should keep Cedd. Doesn't matter. He was one of four brothers, and this is really remarkable. We have to look at the Venerable Bede to get this. Their two eldest brothers, Cedd and Chad, or Cedd and Chad, both became bishops, and there were two others, and I always get their names a little bit wrong. Cynbil, C-Y-N-I-B-I-L, and Caelin, C-A-E-L-I-N. Those two also became priests, and they were of British extraction rather than Anglo-Saxon, and they came to Lindisfarne, just up the coast, about 5 or 6 miles, maybe 10 miles, and were educated in the monastic tradition, in the monastic school established by Aidan as part of his Celtic mission to this part of the country. And they were very much his proteges, although of course they lived much longer than him. Cedd was probably born about 620 and died in 664. He was only 46 when he died, and yet he had tremendous impact. He'd been sent, first of all, as a priest, as a mission to the Midlands, to what we would now call the area of surrounding Lichfield, and spreading through the centre of England, Mercia, which was a pagan kingdom, but where he was allowed to preach. And he began a preaching work there that was continued and brought to fruition by his brother Chad, who is celebrated and remembered at the great cathedral at Lichfield. But he also was a missionary to the East Saxons, to what we would call Essex now, and at that time London was part of that region, and he is therefore, because he was consecrated bishop to the East Saxons, he is therefore considered to be part of that diocese, and indeed counted and numbered as one of the bishops of London. Although it's very important to remember that in the tradition of the church at that time, bishops went to people rather than places, in a sense. But they went to the people of an area, the Mercians or the East Saxons or wherever, the Northumbrians. And it's only later that bishoprics became much more identified with a place, a city. As well as those great missionary endeavours, he began and founded a monastery at Lastingham, which is in Yorkshire, and still there, as in Wilfrid's Hexham and Ripon, there is a crypt that goes back to the date of the mission. It's a marvellous and a holy place to go, to that church at Lastingham. And it was there he died of the plague as a youngish man, continuing to do God's business and to follow his call. So what does he say to us? He says to us that we start by being faithful, by learning and living the scriptures, and then we share them with the people around us, the people who we are sent to, wherever we are and whoever they are. We share them with them so that we may share Christ's love. And that's our task for today, following Cedd, to share the love of Christ to others. May God bless us.